All right, this one's really easy.
Is that a bag of apples in
This is, we already did one of these. So I'm going to go a little faster because we already did one. But I really want you guys to put in on this. Tell me what's going on. This is the 4-step, right? So you just got to graph it. This one you don't. On the other one, we actually had to do the quadratic formula. They wanted 5 points. This one, you just got to graph it. So we just need 3 points. 3 easy points. The first step is the prime of the derivative, right? And set the derivative equal to 0. Or some of you like to use the ax plus b equals 0, and that's fun. Okay.
Those are the steps.
Yeah, this is the first step. Now remember, it's kind of nice to kind of look at this and go, is it smiling or frowning? So you know which way it's going. So is this smiling or frowning? Frowning, yeah. So we know that this thing better look like this when we're done. Right? And this is how you can check a lot of times. Sometimes your vertex went in the wrong spot. And it'll be smiling when it should be frowning. Or it'll be frowning when it should be smiling.
So what would it look like if it was smiling?
This would be positive.
Oh.
Because when you're positive, you're smiling.
Oh, okay.
Right? And when you're negative,
yeah,
you're frowning.
Say no.
I'm so glad you listened this time. Beautiful.
Did you say that?
Huh?
I'm not even, don't confuse me no more.
So, now what do? Y prime is equal to, Y prime is the same as f of x prime. And next year in calculus, you guys, hopefully, if you take calculus in college,
I will.
probably have to. You'll be using y primes a lot.
I'll try it.
Okay? So it's 2 times the negative 3, right?
Right.
It's just this guy times this, which is negative 6. And then take 1 away from 2, you get x. So remember, whenever it's like, if you have a quartic and you take a derivative of a quartic, you're going to end up with a cubic. If you take a derivative of a cubic, you're going to end up with a quadratic. And if you take a derivative of a quadratic, you're going to end up with a linear, right? And so there's a 1 here, and 1 times negative 18 is negative 18. And then the 1 becomes none, so then there's no x. And there's a 0x here, and the 0 times that is 0, and that's why it goes away, right? And then we set it equal to 0 and solve.
Are you trying to look for what happened to the 15? The x.
Right? So what's 1 times 18? Negative 18?
Negative 18.
Right? If we take 1 away from 1, what do we get?
Oh, okay.
0. That means there's 0 x's. Okay? And then this one already has 0 x's, right? And what's 0 times 15? 0. So that's why the 15 goes away. Okay? Alright, so now we just solve. So, add 18. Okay, and I get negative 6x is equal to 18. And then I divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6, I get x is equal to negative 3. And that is your axis of symmetry.
Oh, damn it, I forgot to take this question.
Okay? That's a big step. It's not really a hard step, but it's a big step. Most of the time, this next step's the hardest step. Okay? What is the next step? What is step 2? Yeah, you just put the x in. So it's f of the axis. And that equals the vertex. When you're done plugging it in, you're going to get the vertex. Right? And so I take f of negative 3 and I plug it in. So I have negative 3x squared minus 18x plus 15, right? And then I plug in the negative 3. Okay? And then I deal with it. Negative 3 squared?
9.
9. 9 times negative 3?
Negative 27.
Negative 27. Negative 3 times negative 18?
36.
Positive?
54.
Huh?
54.
54?
Yeah.
Good. Plus 15. Are these halves? One of them's half of the other? Right? So we know we're on the right track. So when we add these up, that's going to be positive 27, right? Plus 15. So what is 27 plus 15?
Third, no. Wait.
12.
Fuck. I don't know.
Not F, I don't know. Just 42.
Man,
Oh,
fuck you, Rosie. I was doing the math. I was trying to do that in my head too.
Okay?
Sure, an asshole.
Usually Rosie sucks at that, so we should correct.
So if I have this, then what's the coordinate?
No, fuck off.
If I have this, what's the coordinate? Negative 3, 42.
Whoa.
Okay? That's the vertex. That's step 2. These next 2 steps are the easy steps. Right? So, Dante, this next step, what do I do?
Isn't it F of 0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, step 3 is f of 0. Right? And it should equal what? C, right? Not 0, not necessarily 15. In this case, it will equal 15, right? Because we plug it in, and C, remember, we got A, B, C. And if we plug in 0 here, it's just 0. 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 plus 15 is?
15.
So f of 0 equals 15. So what's the coordinate? 0 and 15.
Oh, I see what you mean. She's wrong.
Right? So this is the Y-Intercept. This is what we call the Y-Intercept. Now, I can graph that. Right?
Oh, we gotta graph it too.
Absolutely. So how am I going to graph this? So we're talking about the negative, right?
How many steps are in there, Dan? There's 4.
4.
Yeah,
So we're talking about the negative in x, but a really big positive. So how about 1, 2, 3, right, for negative 3? But then we'll talk about a really big positive of 42. So we'll go 10, 20, 30, and 40, right? More accurately, 40. Right? And so then I go to negative 3, 42. So it's going to be somewhere around here, right? So a little bit above 40 and on negative 3. And that's my vertex. Negative 3, 42. And then my Y-intercept is at 15. So that's right here. Right? So that's where my graph is going. Right? And it's obviously coming this way. How far this way? Negative 6. Yeah, twice as far. So the last step here is twice as far as the axis. So f of 2 times the axis should equal c. Right? So when I get to it, f of 2 times, what's the axis in this case? Negative 3, right? So then that should equal 15. So f of negative 6 should equal 15, and it should come to right here, and it'd be 4, 5, 6, so about right here. And it should be nice and neat and a good thing, but we got to double check it. So we come over here, we got y is equal to negative 3x squared minus 18x plus 15. Right? Then we check it real quick. Throw in a negative 6. And we got negative 6 squared. 36. Negative, right? Or positive? Positive. And then 36 times 3.
Negative 108.
Good. And then what's negative, right? This would be negative,
Why?
because that's negative.
Yeah, Rosie.
What the?
So then we have a negative and a negative make a positive. And 6 times 18.
6 times 18? What the?
148.
No.
60 plus 48. 60 plus 48. They should cross out, right?
6 times 18?
Yeah,
108.
perfect.
I'm smart.
Right? So then it's plus 15, so we got, it does equal 15. And so that's where this point comes from, and boom, we're good. Does that make sense? Okay? 4-step method.